last night in
That was Mayor and presidential candidate Pete Buttigieg back in 2015, sitting in with Ben Folds at the South Bend Symphony Orchestra. The legendary musician is the author of the new memoir entitled A Dream About Lightning Bugs, A Life of Music and Cheap Lessons. And he's with us now along with Mike Barnacle, Jonathan Lemire, and radio host and Morning Joe music contributor Kyle Meredith with us as well for the conversation. Ben, thanks so much for being with us. First question, I think, asks itself, which is the title, A Dream About Lightning Bugs. Explain it to us.
Well, it was a dream I had when I was about 2 years old that stuck with me. I was in the backyard chasing lightning bugs, and none of my friends could see them, but I could see them, and I was like, wow, look at that, and then they could see them, and I would bottle them. And I sort of liken the job of an artist to that. You just see what glows to you. Everyone else sees something different, you know, but the thing that you can see, it illuminates before your eyes, and then you bottle it and share it with other people. So that's a story of art.
You know, the question, it often comes to great songwriters, where does the music come from? Where do the lyrics come from? Where does the inspiration come from? And many just answer, I don't know. It is like chasing those lightning bugs in the backyard that nobody else sees. What about you? When you finish a song, do you sit there and go, gosh, I'm really good at this? Or do you ask, where did that come from?
I'm usually relieved that I can finish it. I think they're very hard to finish, and I understand you're a songwriter, right? I mean, you write songs. Don't you find them hard to finish? They're easy to begin because the inspiration is quick, but then actually finishing is where the work is, you know.
You've gone from being a songwriter to being a writer of a memoir. Talk about those two creative processes. And how were they different for you? And were there any times that you got through the memoir, halfway through the memoir, and said, you know what, this is just too tough. I'm going to go back to the piano?
No, I actually found it easier to write a book. I felt like when I'm writing a song, there's very little real estate for words. You really have to get your point across very quickly. And I mean, can I ask you something? Did you coin Moscow Mitch? Was that?
I actually did. Yes, I did. Why?
That is great lyric writing, because it gets something across super fast and super poetically, where like most of us would say something way too long, like guy who won't pass election reform, Mitch, and that doesn't have alliteration, and so I think that's amazing.
No, but you know what though? It's a lot like you said with the lyric writing. I've been writing songs since I was 12 or 13 years old. Then I got into politics, and I actually found that having to give speeches all the time actually made me a better songwriter when I left that, because with speeches, you couldn't go more than 30 seconds without giving them a joke or giving them a punchline. And I look back at a lot of songs I wrote, and I said, wait a second, that's 3.5 minutes. And after about a minute and a half, it's all the same. You have to constantly build on it. So I'm wondering about, again, these two processes that you're a part of. How do you think they're going to help each other?
I thought I had more real estate than I did when it came to writing a book. The illusion is that, oh, I've got this whole huge book, and I don't have to be economical anymore, and actually you do, which is sort of part of my argument when I go to bat for having music in schools, is just what you said. It makes you a better public speaker. In order to understand how you speak in public, or how you write anything, or how you form an idea, it's good to understand that you need to be economical, and it's good to understand cadence and rhythm and melody. And the best speech makers are very musical in the way that they in their oration.
You're also involved with the Arts Vote 2020 program.
Yeah.
So 2 questions for you. First, just tell us a little bit about what Arts Vote is.
Yeah.
But then secondly, you're doing an interview series with a number of candidates. Is that correct?
Yeah.
And tell me who you've spoken to and what's the most interesting thing you've learned so far?
Well, so far, we'll see. I'm trying to remember exactly who we've spoken to. We've spoken to Pete Buttigieg, who we saw playing piano. He's great. Let's see, I spoke with Eric Swalwell, with Castro, with John Delaney, and John Hickenlooper. I think that's all we've gotten so far. And what I've learned the most is how well thought out most of their arts policy is. And I think it's not something that we hear about in the debates and you see in big talking points on television, but arts drives a lot of economy, and it certainly drives a lot of mood, and it's something that the United States of America is known for around the world is our contribution to arts, and again it comes back to economy. So you kind of want to know where they stand on it, because it reverses the downward trend in some neighborhoods just by refurbishing a theater. And then suddenly it's okay, the theater's refurbished, now you've got a coffee shop next to it, and now I've played places which were not very nice 20 years ago, and now they're just completely economically restored, and everyone credits the artists having arrived there first. So I want to know what our candidates think about how you make that happen.
One of your latest singles kind of dips into politics with Mr. Peepers.
Oh, yeah.
Which, Rod Rosenstein, is that?
Rod Rosenstein.
They call him Mr. Peepers, send some thugs to smash his glasses. If he's gone and people the wrong thing, then they'll burn his name to ashes.
What I did with Rod Rosenstein was, the Washington Post asked me to write a song about Anthony Scaramucci. And while I thought that was entertaining, I didn't feel to write that. And I asked him, can I write about this Rod Rosenstein fellow? Because this is before he was really in the hot seat. It appeared to me he was going to be. And I was just thinking about his position as a human being in government, as a bureaucrat and as a lawyer. They don't have a very popular... People don't think highly of a bureaucrat or a lawyer. And I think it's great service to humankind. We have people taking care of our garbage. We have people taking care of our kids. We have people farming. You have to have someone in government crunching the numbers and figuring out where the money goes and making this stuff work. You have to have people watching your back legally, and I don't understand why we just rake these people over the coals all the time instead of celebrate them like the American workers they are. So I looked at Rod Rosenstein and thought, he's getting ready to get creamed. You know, and that's really not fair, because he's not going to pick up the mic or Twitter or anything. He's going to stay on his side of things, and so I thought he needs his own defense attorney, which I decided to be.
All right. The new book is A Dream About Lightning Bugs, A Life of Music and Cheap Lessons. Ben Folds, thank you very much. It was great talking to you. We appreciate you being here.
Great to talk to you, too. Thanks for having me.